I have a review for you. The story. It is the Bible. It's the NIV translation of the Bible, but it's all in story form, and it takes out some of the stuff that's not as critical that they think to the story, and so they just have the story, and then they have parts that kind of weave things together to connect it, and it's an easy read. The type is large. There's timelines in here so that you can look at the timeline to figure out where things are in time. There's, of course, map at the beginning and at the end. And let me read the fly leaf, the cover. It says what its features are. The story of the Bible in its own words. Selections from the accurate, readable, and clear NIV with short transitions to connect the reader to the continuing story. Events, people, and teachings of the Bible arranged chronologically. So, in order. Timelines of the Bible events. List the people in the Bible with descriptions of who they are, discussion questions for each chapter, and comfortable reading print. So, for instance, when you're talking about, let's say in David's time period. So when he was upset or running from Saul, he wrote a psalm. Or this instance, this is when the child died after his affair with Bathsheba. And it goes into the psalm here. Blessed is the one whose transgressions are forgiven, whose sins are covered. So the psalm that he wrote during that time period is right there in the middle of the narrative, in the middle of the story. So that's really cool. In the back of the book, they say that there's discussion questions. First off, there's an epilogue, kind of a summation, or what's next, and then discussion questions. So each chapter has discussion questions. So you could do this with a book club if you wanted to, and then you have discussion questions. Now, this is also really cool. It's got an index on the characters and what the biography, just a small little thing on who the characters are. So in other words, Adam, the first man, husband of Eve, created by God out of dust. Adam sinned when he ate fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And then it says Eve. So it's just a little synopsis of who each person is. Joshua succeeded Moses and led the Israelites conquest of Canaan. So there's little biographies of each person in the Bible. And like I said, it's an easy read. This was gifted to me, and so I got to read the Bible in a different way. And it's always fun to start reading the Bible in a different version or something at the beginning of the year. So this would make a really good gift to give somebody for Christmas, or just pick it up yourself and you could read the Bible through this way. It is missing some of the little storylines. So if you are really interested in some of the great detail, you will be missing it out of the Bible. But for the majority, it's in here. And then there's little sentences or paragraphs that connect from one chapter to the next, or one scene from the next, kind of giving you an overview of what happens without every single verse in that. So anyways, I give you this about a 4-star because I'm one of those picky, want to know all the details, and I like everything word for word. So, and that's not what the NIV does, but it's a fun read. It's fast. and it's interesting. It does all the main parts, the main characters, the main storyline is in here. So it's kind of fun. So you can pick up one for yourself. It is the NIV. So this is out by Zondervan, and it's The Story. So there you go. 4 stars for that. And thanks for tuning in. See you next time.